welcome to this episode of Kids in Tech Show, a program that showcases young minds and how they are trying to transform the world into a digital space. You know, technology, they say, is evolving and it's taking over every sphere of influence, from economy to sports, even down to our local businesses. Technology is all taking over. Today is a special episode of the program. We have tutors of the KCCA 2020 in the studio. But before we get to them, we'll quickly go for this short break. And when we're back, you know who are these tutors and what are they teaching these kids from the ages of 9 to 15. Don't forget that this program is brought to you by KCCA, that is the Kids Code Club Africa, in collaboration with NTA Network, Just Network Center. We'll be right back immediately after this short break.
Blue Algorithm Technologies Limited presents Kids in Tech Conference and Awards 2020 theme, strategically developing foundational skills for relevance and prosperity in the emerging digital era, under the chairmanship of Ambassador Gautam Gosson. Special guest of honor, Malam Adamu, Honorable Minister of Education. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola, along the Executive Governor of Plateau State and Chairman, Northern Governors Forum. Host, Mr. Bright Ogo. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency, Dr. Oyekache Macaulay O. Kalu, Chairman, African Union 6th Region, Canada, and Policy Advisor of the Americas. Date 27th November 2020. Venue, Tamarad Event Center, JIB Junction, opposite VIO, along Old Airport, Refit Road, Jos, Plateau State. Time 10 a.m. There will be paper presentations, exhibitions, discussion, and awards. For inquiries, please call 081-1519-0900 or 070-6237-3722. KCCA, raising the next African digital hero.
Welcome back from that short break. It's still the Kids in Tech program. Now, you know that we are approaching the climax of the training of 2020, KCCA 2020. Next week, it's going to be over. It's going to be a wrap of the training, the rigorous 1 month training of kids to become Africa digital heroes. But at this point, I just felt it's right and very, very awesome for us to have the tutors of these kids to come and share some of their experiences, and you get to know if they are professionals or not, or what are these things that they are giving, the knowledge they are inculcating on the kids. But don't worry, you stand a chance to call in on the program today and ask your questions. I know we all out there want to ask questions to know or to test some of their intelligence. It's allowed. It's going to be very allowed today. That's why they're here to showcase themselves and also tell us that they are doing a lot for the kids. Okay, today I have gentlemen in the studio. You know, I just need to know if we should come. I just need to smile. Okay, if I'm not smiling, I think I have to pause. Okay. Okay, everyone out there want to know who you are and what you do. So foremost, it's good for us to know their names, at least, so I would be able to identify them by their names. If you see them on the street, you know, I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this guy. Okay, let's start from my far right.
My name is Modon Adebola Andrew.
Okay, and?
My name is Ikaweka Danjuma.
Danjuma, we have?
Amono Michael.
And?
Abdullah Daniel Idris.
Okay, welcome aboard. I need people to smile at least. Even the kids always like smiling. I don't know, their tutors are like, okay, anything that has to do with computer that I'm good at. So before we move into deeper deliberations and discussions this morning, I want you to tell me about yourself. Let me start from Idris. I want you to tell me about yourself.
Okay. I'm a 3D artist, what most people call a computer animator. Yeah, I've been in the field for about 3 years. I also dabble in other areas of computer-based areas like game development and app development a little bit. So basically that's what I do. And I have a small studio called Three Kings Animation Studio. So we are part of the supporters of the program.
Okay, and we've gotten you a 3D animator or a computer animator, as the case may be in a general parlance. And let's move to the gentleman on suits.
Okay, I make both 2D and 3D games. I also make augmented reality games. But I started with graphic design before I moved into the game industry. So currently, I have 3 years experience in game development at the moment. So, by and large, that's what it is.
Okay, we have different experiences here. We have one with 3D animator, 2D, 3D animator. We also have two. You said something about 2D. Is it?
Yes, 2D, both 2D and 3D games.
Okay, 2D and 3D games. So in case you want games, at least you teach me how to make games. Don't forget one of the programs or the programs that that is being run in even in the training of these kids. We have the game programming, and that is what he takes with KCCA, and he takes that on animation. So let's move to my right now. The young men on caps. Let's start from Danjuma.
Yeah, I'm a web/mobile developer. You know, famous Facebook apps. We develop such apps. And I'm not actually from a computer science background. I actually studied informatics in school. But my passion actually kept me going. I learned this over time. I'm an ex-student from the famous program by the Plateau State government, with Code Plateau program. So I finished from that, where I learned my app development from. But for web development, it was a self-taught stuff. So I've worked on several projects, producing real-life apps, and that's majorly what I do.
Okay, producing real life apps. That's majorly what he does. And he also is taking the kids on app development. And let's now move to my far right.
I'm into web app development, and I started 3 years back. But I started with Python. Then I moved into scripting, JavaScript. Then I went to Google Analytics, got a certificate in Google Digital Analytics, Microsoft Digital Analytics, then got a certificate with Purple Think on JavaScript and web development. So I'm into web development per se.
You know the certificates that all the certificate, this certificate. I come and dash me one at least, or dash me one. Let me use as at least a backup for me. I'll just when you want to introduce me next, I'll just say my name is Busayo Olowokere. You can call me. You can have CCC, DCO, ECO, QQQ, and all backed up in my names at least, so that I can have this. Okay, KCCA 2020 climax next week. It has been weeks of rigorous training, and I want to know your experiences with these kids. How has it been so far? You know, one of the characteristics of kids we have of different mental strengths. They have different mental strengths. We have those that are early grabbers, that immediately you just teach them once, but they've gotten it. You don't need to repeat twice. There are some that you have to repeat consistently, maybe once, twice, 3 times, and there are some that their learning pattern is very low, very slow rather, and you have to take your time, and sometimes it might pose frustrating because you'll be trying and trying. So what has your experiences like with the kids? How has it been like? You know, they have been here several times, and they have told me how their tutors are, I won't say it, I won't say whether good or bad. I won't say anything. So let's not hear from the tutors. Maybe what you'll be saying will rhyme with what the kids are saying, or if it does, it'll be a contradictory statement. Let me start from Michael. So how has it been? Game programming, teaching them game programming and all. How has it been so far? Your experience with the kids in that aspect.
Okay, my experience with the kids, I would say, is an awesome experience. Even though I came with the background of teaching adults. So, but then when I started, I have this notion that it will take time for them to really have a good grasp of what game development is all about. But most of them shocked me. Even though the number of applications that is meant to be installed on their various machines or workstations, as the case may be, are quite much. But then they showed a lot of interest, and they're kind of passionate about the game development aspect. But then the important thing that I love the most is the drive they have to learn. I think that's what gives me a lot of energy, to see how I can put in a lot to deliver best result to the kids. So by and large, my experience with them, it's awesome. It's a smooth ride.
Okay, I was in the training venue some days back to at least for myself supervise and also know how far these kids have been. I interviewed some of them and they told me some things and they mentioned one name and I'm going to call the names. And they mentioned all your names. They say if you ask someone which part do you like, I like animation. Why do you like animation? Because of this. I want to do this, and they begin to tell you a lot of things. And they say, I said, okay, what about your web development? They said, okay, there's someone, Mr. Andrew. And I said, okay, let me go and see Mr. Andrew in class teaching. And I have Mr. Andrew here. Mr. Andrew, how has it been so far, your experience with these kids? KCCA 2020, you were there to KCCA 2019 to train them. They made mention of that you trained them last year and again this year. I would not want you to start comparing the kids, but I just want to know your experience last year and this year. How has it been? Can you compare the kids of last year and this year, although they are still in the program?
Okay. KCCA 2019 was a good time. And KCCA 2020 is an awesome moment.
Okay, I like that transition of good time to awesome moment. Yeah.
Because in 2019, we only had a few kids. We just decided to test run the program. And I was with them, interacted with them, played with them. Now, one thing about the kids is they want you to come close to them and understand what they really need. Now, if you can be able to understand them, you can cope with them, you can train them, their minds are open. So that's what I find out. Now, 2020, having 150 kids, so it's quite a huge number. But like I said, it's an awesome time because you have kids who want to learn, they have that passion for learning. They want to know things. They want to know what you know. And as you tell them, you don't stress yourself when you're teaching them because they are calm, they are following whatever you tell them, whatever you ask them to do, they take it one step at a time. And they are giving you the results you're looking for. So it's an awesome time. It's an awesome time. Now we are having fun together. That's what I call it. My class is just, we have fun together, chop knuckles, do this, give me a high five and the rest, and kids love that. They love to, like, when you come to them, when you play with them as you teach them, make the teaching fun. That's what we do. Chop knuckle, high five and the rest. And when I'm not in class, they are looking for Mr. Andrew.
No wonder. No wonder they're looking for Mr. Andrew. Because they don't say, we need Mr. Andrew. I said, okay, I think I need to know who is this Mr. Andrew. So now, when I interacted with some of these kids, they made mention of things like, I want to make a cartoon. I want to make it this. I want to make it that. I want to make a cartoon that will come and speak my tribal language. I want to make it this. You see great minds and all. There's some want to go into sensitization projects and all. But I was not asking, who is the person teaching this? And they said, it's my animation teacher, And we have the animation teacher here with us. Okay, Mr. Idris, how has it been with these kids? 2020, how have you been coping with kids? As I said earlier, before we started this question, I made mention of the fact that they have different learning strengths. Yeah. We have some that learns very fast. We have some that are learning, you have to maybe take a moment or two with them extra to give them, and some you have to take extra time for them. And some you don't need to maybe shout at them or anything, but you keep on, they like playing. How do you try to absorb all these things to make sure that these kids understand animation?
Okay, so far it's been really amazing actually. And let's be honest, it's also been challenging. As you said, there are little bits of there are differences in the kids. So our program is designed with all this in mind. Like the program is designed in such a way that we know that some of them might not have the kind of intellectual capacity the others have. So we take our time with them, and I'll be honest to say, of course, like the way the classes hold, we have colleagues that help us with them as well. So yeah, lots of times you need to leave where you are working, where you are using a projector and projecting on the screen, and go to their own systems and show them things one-on-one. So we take our time gradually. We give each one nearly personal experience, one-on-one training. Yeah, and we try to manage time while we're doing this. So So it's been good. It's been real good. It's been real good. I would like to say it's been real good. And yeah, they do have challenges, but I love their tenacity. They don't give up. That's one thing I love about them. They'll still call you, sir, please, I have a problem. They won't just sit back and say, oh, because it's difficult, I'm no longer interested. So I really, really enjoyed that.
Okay, we have one more person to talk, but I know you know, one of the things the kids also told me is the fact that they want to make something that can beat Facebook and an app, and this kind of strength can only be given by the app developer. Before we come back and talk to the app developer, let's go straight on the short break. We'll be right back.
Blue Algorithm Technologies Limited presents Keys in Tech Conference and Awards 2020 theme, strategically developing foundational skills for relevance and prosperity in the emerging digital era, under the chairmanship of Ambassador Gautam Gosson. Special guest of honor, Malam Adamu, Honorable Minister of Education. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola, along the Executive Governor of Plateau State and Chairman, Northern Governors Forum. Host, Mr. Bright Ogo. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency, Dr. Oyekachi Macaulay O. Kalu, Chairman, African Union's 6th Region, Canada, and Policy Advisor of the Americas. Date, 27th November 2020. Venue, Tamarad Event Center, JIB Junction, opposite VIO, along Old Airport, Rayfield Road, Jos, Plateau State. Time, 10 a.m. There will be paper presentations, exhibitions, discussion, and awards. For inquiries, please call 081-1519-0900 or 070-6237-3722. KCCA, raising the next African digital hero.
Welcome back to the program Kids in Tech. Today, as I said earlier, we don't have kids in the studio. We have the trainer of these kids in the studio. You know, due to popular demands from everyone, we want to know the teachers, even parents that their kids are not in KCCA now, but they all want to know, who is this person training these kids? Let's know them. Let's hear from them. You know, there are sets of persons that if they don't see who trains or who imparts knowledge, they won't want to put their kids in them. So we just had to bring them here in the studio. It took time to bring them here. You know, they are very busy, ever busy and all, but we have them here in the studio to give us more and more. So, as I said earlier, their kids, even in KCCA 2020, wants to develop applications that would beat the known Facebook, Instagram, all owned by, you know, Facebook, Instagram, still owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and other applications aside Twitter that he is not having, and some others that he is having to his credit. And they have people who wants to beat them, do other websites that would be made in Nigeria and will have the made in Nigerian touch. And the only person that is giving that mindset and that capacity is Mr. Danjuma, here with us in the studio. Danjuma, you are teaching them app development. How has it been so far with the kids?
Yeah, it has been awesome. So you see, whenever I'm called upon to teach kids or to teach anybody coding, the first question that I ask is, do you have the passion? Now, when the answer is no, it means my first job will be to instill passion in the person. If it's yes, my job has been done halfway. So now these kids now, what I discovered in them is they are actually passionate about what they do. Now I teach app development. I know you actually need a very high spec system to actually move on with app development. So even though their systems are a bit low in terms of specs, we are still moving on, trying to see what we can do to ensure their systems or to ensure they gain the knowledge. So far that's what we've been doing so far.
Okay, we've heard from the web developer, we've heard from the animator, we have from the gamer, and we also heard from the app developer. Now, let's go straight. You know, one of the things that we want to do with these kids is that we are trying to raise the next African digital heroes that would come and transform. We have heard about the Kenyan boy who is making millions in dollars in Kenya because of what he made, the application he made that is helping them from the passion that he has for it. So now, what you are teaching these kids, how can they use to transform Nigeria? So let me start from Mr. Michael. Gaming. You know, ordinarily, every parent will see gaming as playing games as waste of time. And you see them saying, okay, you don't go and maybe you just say, child, just go to the phone, and the next thing looking for games and playing games. Now, you are doing gaming. How can gaming help these kids to help the Nigerian economy?
Okay, game development has actually come a long way, but then a lot of people have different impression as far as gaming is concerned. But one of the most interesting thing about gaming is the fact that apart from creating games that are quite engaging and fun, the interesting thing about it is you can develop a whole lot of games that are educative. Okay, so now your game is fun, your game is educative. I think the educative part is what form the bedrock of what you can sell to the society. So the interesting thing about the game now is the fact that they are categorized in different forms, just like I mentioned during the introduction, the 2D, the 3D, and then the augmented reality game. So talking about the economy now, these kids can learn the art of game development, even though game development have different aspects that they can eventually dive in and eventually specialize in. So in area of education, there are some kids. The level at which they learn, it tends to differ. So let me use mathematics for instance. Having a class of maybe like 25 students and their teacher teach them maths and all that, the level at which they will understand that maths tend to differ. So, but then these kids that we are actually teaching in KCCA, the Kid Code Club Africa, they will have the knowledge in which they can be able to develop games, okay, that is geared toward helping those ones that are the slow learners in class. Okay, so when you are developing a game that is filled with fun, okay, when a child is playing alongside is learning how now the game is sort of mathematics inclined. So he's learning a game that is engaging, and it's also at the same time is learning mathematics as well. So with that, this is something that can actually sell in the market, and eventually it's instead of getting guys from outside as outsourcing game developers outside, now you have in-house game developers. Okay, in schools you have in-house game developers that can just develop your games for you. In places of worship, your church, you can come up with different ideas. So you just start with scripts, you write the script, then you can start developing your games. So in churches, in mosques, you can have game developers within the country. Before you know it, you have an ecosystem of game developers. Before you know it, you've gotten a lot of employers of labor around the country.
Okay, we've heard from the game developer there. Don't forget, I said earlier in the opening that you still have time to call, or the viewer, you can have time to call us. Our phone lines will be displayed soon so that you could begin to call and interact with the guests that I have in the studio today. And I just want to quickly move to the web developer. How can web development help to transform the economy?
If you look at the recent trend in the society, everything is going online. Now, during the pandemic, most schools were not able to meet up because of they were not able to go online. Now, if we can be able to train people on these aspects, we can make a lot of money from there. Banking applications are built. We can build banking applications. We can build forecasting application. We can weather forecasting application. They are online. We have like the YouTube you see. They are making money from YouTube. Lot of money. People go to YouTube to watch movies and the rest, and streams and the rest. Now they are making money from it. Now if we can have such kind of application in Africa, belonging to let's imagine an African have this application. The money is coming to Africa. We use Facebook. We use Instagram and the rest. Now we are sending money to the other side of the world instead of us to bring money into this part of the world. Now one thing with us is we like to buy, we like to use what other people have made. If we can be able to learn these things are things that we can learn. That's why we decide to bring the kids and teach them, let them start from the early stage. Now, if these things are things that can be learned. Now, if we can be able to teach these things and people learn these things, let me tell you, we are going to make a lot of money. Everything's are going to. There is, I think, of recent, there is a focus that was made that within is it 4 or 5 years time, everything there's going to be, if you've heard of the word Internet of Things, all things are going to be on internet. The only thing that cannot be done on the internet now is just feeding. You cannot feed on the internet. Let me tell you, the internet is a space, it's a living space. Some people stay there 24 hours. They give information to get information and do so many things. So if we can be able to carve our own niche in this internet, let me tell you, Africa will be competing with the other part of the world. So right now, imagine, okay, let's go to the music aspect. Now, Nigerian music, African music, is big right now. It's big. But the problem is, other people are making money from African music. Why? Because we put our music on all these other platforms, not in African platform. We put it in all these other platforms. African movies, Netflix. It's selling, it's big. People watch movies in Netflix, they download movies. It's big. But we are giving people are sharing our money with us. So if we can be able to build, let's say if we can have trained people that can build websites, and from there they can move to other things, let me tell you, money will be coming to Africa. So like the Chinese, they have their own apps. So we also should, that's why we have to like put our mind in these kids so that we can have our own apps and these children can be using their apps and we can be making money from these things, not giving money to the outer world.
Okay, you had that interesting one there. Okay, quickly, I mentioned earlier about the phone lines. Now it's officially opened. You can call us on 070-1825-0658. I'll take the number again. Now slowly, in case you are typing, is 070-1825-0658. And the number is displayed on your screen. Do well to call and let's get your contributions on you are allowed to ask questions. Is allowed. So now let's move to straight to animation. How can this form of okay? We have a call already. Before we go to let's pick this call and let's hear from the caller. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, please, in case you are going to call me here on this program, please make sure that you reduce the volume of your TV set. Reduce it to the minimum so that we could both hear ourselves very well. So we're speaking about animation. How can animation or being an animator now for these kids that you are training and the knowledge you're giving them, how can it help Nigerian economy?
Okay, it can help Nigeria in a lot of ways. Animation actually goes hand in hand with games and different areas. Say for example, the assets, the characters we see in games, the environments, they are created under animation and then used in game development. So as it's rightly said, game development of course brings income, right? Because you have a game out there, you can either sell the game or you have what we call in-app purchases. So where people buy certain things for the game. So that's revenue coming in. And then let's not forget the fact that Nigeria has a very thin pool of animators actually. We also have little to no animated content. So already if we have more animators, we are giving jobs to people in areas with very little competition. Compared to other areas like music right now is big. Okay, so but there's a lot of competition because it is already big, it is an established industry. But in the areas of animation, there is very little competition. It's still young, for the whole of Africa, in fact. And let's see, for example, in the US, they created animations like Frozen under Disney. If you should see the amount of money raked in by that movie, it's in millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now imagine we're making such content here in Africa that told our own story. Africans will buy it. The world will want to see our story because it's exotic, it's something different. Just like we watch Chinese cartoons and American cartoons because it's different. Like we want to get to know how things are done there. So if we had our own content, we had such movies, it will bring in a lot of revenue. So it will change the lives of people. It will just bring in enough funds for other areas to develop as well. So as I said, it's vast. I think the limits of the applications of animation, it just depends on the limits of your creativity. If you think it, you can get it done. So you can create virtual worlds with animation. So like just think it and it's done.
Okay, in animation, just think it and you get it done. 07018250658 is the number for you to reach us on the program. I would call the number again, 07018250658. Okay, let's move down to Danjuma. Danjuma, how can the web application development, that's app development, how can it help the Nigerian economy?
Okay, now, whenever I think of ICT or technology, the first thing that comes to my mind is problem solving. Now, to actually make money from an app, you have to provide a real solution for people. Now, if you see Google and Facebook, they have different mobile apps. There's an app we call Maps. It shows direction, and we know Google Maps. We use it in determining directions. So it generates a revenue as it is, and it solves a real life problem. So to actually make money from the app, you have to get a real life problem, which you convert into code and make an app with it. So now, app development now, we've taught the kids how to actually develop apps.
Okay, let's just take that thought there and let's go straight to the line. Hello. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Fine, sir.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Dalton.
Okay, what's your name?
Sir?
What's your name?
Sir?
What's your name? Your name?
Jeremiah Agonalo.
Okay, Jeremiah, let's get your thoughts on the program.
Jeremiah Agonalo.
Okay, Jeremiah, I can hear you. Let's get your thoughts on the program.
Sir,
I didn't get you.
okay, sir. Sir, I'm interested in ICT.
You're interested in the program?
Computer ethics.
I didn't
I
get
don't know who is computer ethics.
You say you're interested in the program. Okay, please, your line was not clear there. I said earlier, please do reduce the volume from your radio set, your TV set rather. Reduce it to the minimum so that we could hear ourselves, so that you will not be, there's a whole lot of distortion that happens right there. Danjuma, you were picking it up that app development is not just app development. For you to sell, you must be a problem solver. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello. Hello. Okay, please do what to call me. Danjuma.
Yeah. So as I was saying, for you to actually make an income from your app, you have to give a real life problem. Now, what we're doing first of all is to ensure that the children are actually thinking towards the area of problem solving. We're teaching them how to actually think like problem solvers. So when they can think like problem solvers, they can actually, because we have a lot of problems in society at the moment, like unemployment is an issue. So if they can think of a real life solution, they can implement such, and then it will provide employment. And now you can imagine the revenue streams or income that the government makes from Facebook and then Google. So if you can make a solution of a nature like that, then revenue can actually come in.
Okay, let's go to the phone line before we move to Mr. Andrew. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, what's your name?
Yes,
Hello?
yes,
Okay, Jeremiah, let me hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay, I think the network there, and he has been calling. I think he wants to participate on the program. Maybe ask questions. Don't forget the number you will still call is 070-18250-0658 uh, 658 if you want to join the conversation on the number is displayed on your screen. You could get it from there. Mr. Andrew, let me just get a little thoughts about economy and development through your training in KCCA.
Okay. If you look at one thing about Africa is we like to run away from problems. We like to run away from problems, and we want to make money, but we want to run away from problems. Now, my boss used to say, when you see a problem, see it as money. See it as money. For you to be into the digital space, you need to see problems. And that's one thing about these kids, these present kids. They see problem, they are looking for problem. So because they see it as money. Now, talking about the economy, let me just go down to something else first. The problem we have in Africa is why we have bad leadership in Africa is now we've not had this type of training from our childhood. We've not had this type of training on how to solve problems. We have policies makers and politicians who only know how to do the talk, not how to do the work. Now, they only know how to do the talk and not the work. Now, when you know how to do the talk and you don't know how to do the work, you can't get money. You can't get money. So we need to make Africa a working economy.
Let's just pause right there and let's move straight to the phone lines. Hello. Hello. Okay, do well to call back. Sorry for cutting you there. How can we become a working economy?
Okay. Now, talking about a working economy. Now, if you look at election was conducted in America. Now, before the election, was there any violence? No. After the election, even with Trump refusing to give up the seats, any violence? No, nobody has died. But in Africa, because of our mentality and our mindsets, poor working mindsets, we don't want to grow. Now, every politician sees that avenue of being in office as an avenue to make money because they are not industrially trained. They are not industrially trained. They see it as an avenue to make money. That's why they will die to remain. That's why politicians will die to remain in seats. African politicians, they want to die in seats. Because the moment they leave that particular seat, they don't have anything to do. Now, looking at the training in KCCA, we are trying to bring up children with the mindset of how to work, how to create jobs. Imagine somebody having that mentality from childhood, how to create jobs. You can build applications, you can build websites, and having the leadership mindset. Now, when the person now goes out there, when he gets to leadership position, he's not bothered. Because if it happens that the people say, okay, we don't want you anymore, he goes back and he can still make his money. But politicians sees the office as a place to make money because after politics, they don't have anywhere to fall back to. But with the mindset of these kids, working mindsets, building applications, building mobile app, building game app and animations and the rest, now they can be able to not just even, they can think. They can think. They are seeing problems as an avenue to what? To create jobs. They are seeing problems as an avenue to what? To help the people, to like build the people. So that's how I see it.
Okay, thank you very much there. And I know the phone line is buzzing. Everybody wants to call and lend their voice from to ask questions and possibly lend their voice on the training that is ongoing. Don't forget the climax. We're entering the week that we round up the training of KCCA. And let's just go on this short break. We'll be right back immediately after this break.
Blue Algorithm Technologies Limited presents Keys in Tech Conference and Awards 2020 theme, strategically developing foundational skills for relevance and prosperity in the emerging digital era. Under the chairmanship of Ambassador Gautam Gosson, special guest of honor, Malam Adamu, Honorable Minister of Education. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola, along the Executive Governor of Plateau State and Chairman, Northern Governors Forum. Host, Mr. Bright Ogo. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency, Dr. Oyekachi Macaulay O. Kalu, Chairman, African Union 6th Region, Canada, and Policy Advisor of the Americas. Date 27th November 2020. Venue Tamarad Event Center, JIB Junction, opposite VIO, along Old Airport, Rayfield Road, Jos, Plateau State. Time 10 a.m. There will be paper presentations, exhibitions, discussion, and awards. For inquiries, please call 081-1519-0900 or 070-6237-3722. KCCA, raising the next African digital hero.
Welcome back to the program Kids in Tech, and it has been, I would say, a mind-blowing time with the instructors, or say the tutors of the KCCA 2020. And I want you to know, from the onset, we made mention that right now this year, are training over 150 kids in Plateau State here. But don't see it as though it's 4 teachers to 150 kids. They have nothing less than, by my calculations, they have nothing less than 12 instructors on this same. I just brought out one of the points, the cardinal sections of it, and I brought them here. We have other tutors that are out there from KCCA, and it's not going to. It's not a 1:150. It's not a 1:150. We have different classes. We have the Twitter, the Amazon, and we have the Facebook class, and all these classes we have capacity builders that are there full time to make sure that these kids get everything right. So it's not just 4. You have seen there 4. There are just 4 that we could accommodate. If we were to do a form of bringing all of them to the studio, maybe we'll just elongate our studio and possibly we're going to reach Secretariat or Old Airport. We're going to be at Old Airport Junction for bringing all the tutors here. Don't forget that the phone lines is still 070-1825-0658. Do you have questions for the instructors here, or there's something you want to contribute to these things? KCCA training kids from 9 to 15 to become the next digital hero. Now, there are some things that will fascinate you. Okay, when I was there, I know I like going to confirm things myself. I just don't want to come on air and just say some things. And I saw a lot of things, and I heard a lot of things. But before I say that, let's go to the phone lines. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is SDP. I'm calling from Holishe.
Okay, SDP.
Yes.
Okay, let's get your thoughts. Do you have a question or a contribution?
Yeah, I think it comes both ways. A question and also a contribution.
Okay.
I think from what I can observe here, the instructors are doing great. I think I believe the community job is going to equip our students, and of course, the next generation is going to be equipped digitally. One of the important, some of the instructors there I saw app developers, and then web developers. I think that will also create, sometimes I was telling my friends that even organizations can be able to develop apps, schools can also develop apps to assist parent-student relationship, because at that stage you don't need to go to the school, but you can use an app via your phone and also interact with school, take complaints, and so many things in that direction. If that is done, our next vision is going to actually equip. So if the students are not affected that direction, it will not help our next generation. So this program is one of the important part of it. So the question is in regard to security. So what do you think is that?
Oh, I didn't get your question.
The question is in regard of security.
Security.
You can develop
Okay.
app.
Okay.
I'm talking about the app developer there.
Okay.
You develop an app
Yeah.
And then you have app emulations. So when you are searching for an app, you get several apps with same name. So is that actually not a security threat to to app developers?
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution there. And he made a mention of something that I was planning to say earlier. I know I told you that I like research, and I went deep into it. And I discovered that the body or the organization who is organizing this KCCA 2020, that's the Blue Algorithm Technologies, they have an app called the Alpha Sims that has to do that. When I went through the app, to the details of that app, I was wowed because it's very difficult for someone you know how to do something and you have not done it. It's very difficult to prove it to people that you can do it. And here we have Alpha Sims, a sim that is education, is for education. You can use it in schools to. I think the app developer too is here with us, seated close to me. He's going to talk about Alpha Sims. But let's go to the phone lines. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm listening.
Okay, please, can you move away from where your TV is? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, please do well to call me back. So let's pick it up from there. Most questions are directed to you. Looking at, he said we have emulations of applications. You go online, you want to maybe download an app that has to maybe direction, and you see like hundreds of same name application. Is it not an issue to app developers, or is there any way that is there any organization that regulates the buying of name, maybe name for the app or anything, and possibly use the opportunity to talk about Alpha Sims?
Okay. Actually, on most apps, after developing an app, you upload it on Play Store. It gets verified, and then it will be available for download. Now, you can't really prevent someone from actually using the same name with yours. Now we have something we call package name on Play Store, and that's the only unique stuff they use on Play Store. So each app on Play Store have a unique package name. And then in the area of security, having apps with different names. Now we have, for instance, now if you go on Facebook on Play Store and search for Facebook, you might see some other apps that are still named Facebook. But if you check whether we have the details of the company under it. So you have the details of the company, you have the reviews under it. So from the reviews and the company name, you know who owns the app. And then you go to the app and know from the reviews of the users, you know how secure is the app and everything about the app over there.
Okay, and let's Alpha Sims.
Yeah, Alpha Sim is a school management system for secondary and primary schools. So the system actually helps in the normal processes, in the schools. It's not as though it eliminates some processes, but it has automated them. So things like student registration, we have a module for student registration. We have a module for dormitory management. We have a module for library management. We have a module for marks management. So the platform does everything for you. You only need, in the aspect of result generation now, you only need to impute the results of the student. The system computes everything for you. You only need to print the results to students. So now, we have different roles on the system. And now parents, as you were saying, you were talking about parents being able to
Monitor their kids.
Yeah. So we have a module there that is actually for parents. So a parent can be at home and be checking out the progress of his son, the issues his son has in school. Teachers can send a report of how the child is doing in school, in comportment, his behavior in school. So the parent can actually monitor it. Everything will be on the platform. So we'll have a system like that, Alpha Sims.
Okay, we have Alpha Sims that helps all your education need, also developed by Blue Algorithm Technologies. We'll be going on this short break. We'll be right back to take maybe final words from the great men in the studio.
Blue Algorithm Technologies Limited presents Kids in Tech Conference and Awards 2020 theme, strategically developing foundational skills for relevance and prosperity in the emerging digital era. Under the chairmanship of Ambassador Gautam Gosson, the special guest of honor, Malam Adamu, Honorable Minister of Education. Chief host, His Excellency, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bakola, along the Executive Governor of Plateau State and Chairman, Northern Governors Forum. Host, Mr. Bright Ogo. Keynote address to be delivered by His Excellency, Dr. Oyekachi Macaulay O. Kalu, Chairman, African Union 6th Region, Canada, and Policy Advisor of the Americas. Date 27th November 2020. Venue Tamarad Event Center, JIB Junction, opposite VIO, along Old Airport, Rayfield Road, Jos, Plateau State. Time 10 a.m. There will be paper presentations, exhibitions, discussion, and awards. For inquiries, please call 081-1519-0900 or 070-6237-3722. KCCA, raising the next.
Welcome back from that short break, and it's closing, almost the closing time for us on this program. But don't forget that you can reach out to us if you have any questions and you want to continue the training and all. You can reach out to KCCA, and don't forget it's not only kids they train; they also have packages for adults and people outside the age of 15. So it's there. So now continuity rather. How can this really help? Because some people now out there, they're like, I'm not from 9 to 15, I'm like 30, I'm like 25, 26, 27. How can I still get trained to get all this knowledge that these children are getting?
That's where train and retrain comes in. Now, what is train and retrain? Now, it's a system that both the public, private, and even personal individual needs. Now, let me talk about train and retrain. Now, after COVID-19, most people lost their jobs. Twitter, they asked some of their developers, they asked them to go home during the COVID-19, and they told them you can work from home if you want, even after COVID-19. Now, why will a company do such thing? And why did some people lose their jobs? What makes people relevant in where they are, in their workplace? Why is bank doing away with some of its staff and they are leaving some of their staff? It has to do with train and retrain. Because some people feel that if it's this knowledge that I've acquired is enough for me, I don't need to move further. No, you need to, after getting trained, you need to be retrained. Now, during the COVID-19, during Zoom meeting, even some government personnel, they were not able to even have conversation and do some certain things because they were not trained on how to use Zoom. So that's why Blue Algorithm is, we are there to train you. So every organization, every body needs to be trained and retrained.
Training and retraining, you can get all these from Blue Algorithm Technologies. Don't forget that our office is at Kalwa Plaza, Zaramaganda Roundabout, suite 123 at the first floor in the plaza. So quickly, within 20 seconds, let's start from Idris. Idris, what would you like to say for 20 seconds as we wrap things up today?
Okay, I'd like to say a big thank you to the organizers of the program, and also to the parents that have the faith in us to give out their kids. It's not easy. You let a kid stay with a stranger for a couple of hours. So I'd like to say a big thank you also to all the supporters, and I'd also like to say we should continue. Okay, we should not stop. There will be challenges, but we should keep at it. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Michael.
Okay, Blue Algorithm have done a lot towards the progress of the program, but another thing again that is equally important, it's just like Idris rightly mentioned, is the support from the parents. If the parent fail to support their kids during the course of the program, it's going to become an issue. But so far, the parents have been very supportive, and the program is moving on fine. So.
Okay, let's move to Mr. Danjuma. Quickly, I'll say 20 seconds. We are far behind time.
Yeah, all thanks to Blue Algorithm and KCCA. The program is for free feeding, free transportation, free everything. So all thanks to Blue Algorithm.
Okay, and don't forget that it's not just only for kids from 9 to 15. We still have other packages like Landstack. You go to networking and different things you want to learn. Blue Algorithm Technologies give that for free, not for free, at an affordable price. It's not for free. Oh. The one after now is if you have not from 9 to 15. Anything you get after then, you will pay for it, but it's not too much for you to pay actually for you to get such knowledge. Mr. Andrew, in 1 second, let's just get what you have to say as we move on from
I
this.
just want to say thank you to Blue Algorithm and the parents. It's been, they've done so much. They've done so much. They've done so much.
Okay, and it's stuck to the 1 second. There's not 1 second. But thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Kids in Tech. The program makes a return to, next week, Saturday, same time and same station. Don't forget that the conference, the Kids in Tech, first of its kind Kids in Tech conference, will be happening on Friday, next week Friday at Tamara Event Center. It's going to showcase different talents. There are kids. Last week I brought some kids here, some that want to do games that will transform the educational sector, apps that will change the agricultural sector and other things. You can come and see them as they will showcase themselves and their talents. We'll be right back next week, and next week it will be an amazing time, a super amazing time. Don't forget that this program airs from 11 to 12 noon every Saturday. My name is Busayo Olokere. It's a pleasure having you with me today on the program. See you next week. Bye.